What are they?
Uh, oh, your father called. He wants you to call him back.
Mrs. Stimler, our father passed away about 5 years ago. Do you remember?
Right. Should I get him for you?
Welcome to the Shermer High Alumni Association. I'm Kristen.
I'm Janine.
And I'm Carol.
And we rewatch movies from the 80s to determine, did that age well?
This week's movie is Splash, a 1984 romantic fantasy comedy that involves a young man who falls in love with a mysterious woman who is secretly a mermaid that he may or may not have met when he was 8 years old.
So let's fill up the bathtub with salt water and relive the fantasy from when we were kids of becoming a mermaid. Join us as we rewind, rewatch, and remember the decade that shaped us.
Hi, guys.
Hi.
How are
Hi,
you doing?
Kristen.
This is Gia.
Hi, Gia.
Hi, Gia.
Gia
She's
is a dog.
Acts aloof.
Yeah, so Gia's
we'll-
not going to respond.
No, she's not going to commentate on Splash,
Hey, baby.
but she's a beautiful little guest star.
With giant dog ears.
She does not have giant dog ears. They're normal sized.
They're giant dog ears.
You feel those ears are proportional?
I do. I do. I think she's perfect just the way she is, and she's very normal.
Nobody said that they weren't perfect.
Is normal.
Nobody said they weren't
I'm
normal.
not cutting this out. This is going on the pod.
She is normal.
Nobody said they weren't normal.
Alana's on the pod.
I love her. She's the best $100 I've ever spent in my life.
And she loves you.
My dogs are the best money I ever spent too.
Word.
And I hate spending money.
Yep.
Yeah.
My husband always says Pinky's the best $45 we ever spent.
Yes. I think I actually spent $250 on Tiny.
Pinky's had a lifetime warranty.
Yeah, she'll be 11 next month.
Oh, old lady.
I know. We got her at 10 months.
Aw, she's just a little baby.
I know. I was just thinking today I got to plan her birthday.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
A big blowout party.
I planned Zoe's 18th birthday.
Oh my God.
That deserves.
She's gonna vote.
Yes. Good. We need her to vote.
She's a Republican.
Oh no.
I know. It's sad. But she is who she is.
That's too
Aw.
bad.
Cola was a raging Democrat.
As he should be.
Giovanna doesn't vote. She's that
Oh,
kind of guy.
She just doesn't feel like her vote matters.
Yeah.
it does matter. Well,
I tell her that, but it's so weird.
Hi, bestie.
maybe if she knows she gets a sticker for participating, then maybe she would vote.
all the incentive you need.
Right. That's why
Well,
I
the
vote.
sticker.
We
Fair.
didn't tell her you get a sticker. So
She's terrified of whipped cream.
Oh
She
my.
doesn't like pup cups?
She's just scared of the sound.
Oh,
And
Oh.
so she knows that sound makes whipped cream, so she refuses to eat the whipped cream. But one time she did eat it.
My dogs will literally sit there, spray it right in my mouth.
that would be Zoe if she had eyeballs. Oh, oh,
Oh.
did you hear your name?
She's like, "Where's the whipped cream, bitches?"
It's not. That's not good.
I think I had my first angry orchard with Ella at
Oh,
Ella's house.
Oh.
We
Did you
stole
put
it
fire?
from.
Did you put Fireball in it?
No. Oh my God! Why would you say that?
Oh, that's a thing.
What thing?
Oh, it is.
Yeah, it is
Oh,
a
yeah.
thing.
Do you drop it in, or is it just a shot put in
You
it?
just pour a shot in it.
I know.
But it's not like an Irish car bomb.
No.
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 Ugh.
That just, I don't have diabetes, but I just got it from thinking of that.
Drinking. So,
So much sugar.
so I wasn't even supposed to be here today, guys, but
Well, welcome.
here I
Yeah.
am. Here I
Thanks
am.
for joining us to watch a mermaid movie.
I'm so excited. I was weirdly surprised by this movie this week.
Mhm.
I feel like I've been saying that a lot, but
I have too.
yeah. And I actually thought about this was like we usually tell people if you haven't seen it, stop and go watch it or don't bother watching it. It's we retell it. So you don't even have to really. You just stay here and just listen to us retell it.
Right. And we paint such a beautiful
We
picture
do
that you,
Right.
a
you don't even have
very
to watch it.
accurate
It's
picture.
like you're in the theater.
Exactly the
100%.
same.
100%. So in this 1984 romantic comedy, Alan Bauer, played by Tom Hanks, falls for a mysterious woman named Madison, played by Daryl Hannah, unaware that she is the mermaid who saved him from drowning twice, one as a boy and again as an adult. While she navigates New York City life, her secret is threatened by water, putting her in danger from a determined scientist, played by Eugene Levy.
Yes.
Leading Alan to choose between his life on land and joining her in the ocean. Speaking of Eugene Levy, can we all have a moment of silence
Oh, man.
for the beloved Catherine O'Hara, who passed away this
Absolutely.
week?
Why did the good ones always have to be taken?
Yeah, I didn't realize she was battling some things. That was very
Oh, it's a
sad.
big secret.
Yeah.
Wait, yeah, like on the last few episodes of the studio, she was looking,
Yeah.
yeah.
No bueno. But rest in peace.
I
We
know.
love
We
you.
love you so very much.
So we'll get to Eugene Levy, but our star here is Tom Hanks, and he was born Thomas Jeffrey Hanks, born on July 9th, 1956 in Concord, California. He is an American actor and filmmaker. Tom Hanks began his professional acting career in Cleveland, Ohio in 1977 as a $45 a week intern at the Great Lakes Shakespeare Festival, which is
Wait.
now known
As
as
Great
Great
Lakes
Lakes
Theater.
Theater.
But the Great Lakes Theater was in Lakewood at the Civic Auditorium.
Yes.
It didn't have
Yes.
its own theater,
Not at that time.
not at that time. And he lived in Lakewood
Correct.
on
Yes.
Parkwood.
Mm-hmm. He did a lot of work at Beck Center and with the Great Lakes Theater at Lakewood High.
So if any listeners didn't know, that is where all three of us were born and raised. So,
Correct.
and Kristen and I both went to Lakewood High School along with our father, our aunt, and our grandfather.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. It's true story. True story.
So over 3 summers, he performed in repertory, built sets, and earned his equity card. Known for both his comedic and dramatic roles, he is one of the most popular and recognizable film stars worldwide and is regarded as an American cultural icon. Hanks is ranked as the 4th highest grossing American film actors. His numerous awards include Academy Awards, 7 Emmy Awards, and a Tony Award. He received the AFI Life Achievement Award in 2002, the Kennedy Center Honor in 2014, the Presidential Medal of Freedom in 2016, and the Golden Globe Cecil B. DeMille Award in 2020. Tom Hanks has appeared in a long list of movies, including Splash, The Money Pit, Big, A League of Their Own, so many countless movies. He won 2 consecutive Academy Awards for Best Actor, playing a gay lawyer suffering from AIDS in the movie Philadelphia in 1993, then the title character in Forrest Gump in 1994. He has collaborated with Steven Spielberg, who we talked about last week, in 5 films, including Saving Private Ryan, Catch Me If You Can, The Terminal, Bridge of Spies, and The Post, along with 3 World War II themed miniseries. He also led biographical dramas like Charlie Wilson's War, Captain Phillips, Saving Mr. Banks, Sully, A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood, and Elvis. He played the title character in the Robert Langdon series and voiced Sheriff Woody in the Toy Story franchise. He directed and acted in That Thing You Do and Larry Crown. His breakthrough television role was a co-lead in Bosom Buddies.
Heck yeah.
Yeah. He has
I was
hosted
looking to see if you mentioned that. Yeah.
Yes.
He has hosted Saturday Night Live 10 times. He launched a production company, Playtone, which produced various limited series and television movies like From the Earth to the Moon, Band of Brothers, John Adams, The Pacific, Game Change, and Olive Kitteridge.
Olive Kitteridge.
He made his Broadway debut in Nora Ephron's Lucky Guy in 2013, earning him a Tony Award for Best Actor in a Play nomination. Hanks is married to actress Rita Wilson, and they have 4 children. We could go on and on about Tom Hanks, but we'll leave it at that. Hanks frequently returns to Cleveland to visit, and his time here in Cleveland is considered the foundation of his career. He was 27 when this movie came out, and his character in the film is named Alan. He's a goat.
He really is.
There was not one bad film or play or anything in there.
No. So we also have Daryl Hannah, who was born December 3rd, 1960 in Chicago, Illinois. She's an American actress, director, and an environmental activist. She has acted in comedic and dramatic roles in more than 100 film and television productions since the 1970s. Hannah has appeared in films such as The Fury, Blade Runner, Summer Lovers, Splash, Roxanne, Wall Street, Steel Magnolias, Kill Bill Volume 1 and 2, and in the Netflix series Sense8. Outside of acting, Hannah has directed and was nominated for the Grammy Award for Best Music Film. She is also noted for her environmental and social activism. Hannah created her own weekly video blog called DH Love Life on sustainable solutions. Her home is built with all green materials and runs on solar power, and she even drove a car that ran on biodiesel. She has been a vegetarian since the age of 11 and later became a vegan. On June 13th of 2006, Hannah was arrested along with actor Taryn Noah Smith for her involvement with over 350 farmers, their families and supporters confronting authorities trying to bulldoze the largest urban farm in the U.S. located in South Central Los Angeles. She chained herself to a walnut tree at the farm for 3 weeks to protest against the farmer's eviction by the property owner. The farm was established in the wake of the 1992 LA riots to allow people in the city to grow food for themselves. The owner of the land wanted to sell it to build a warehouse. The sale price was $16 million, and when the activist came up with the money, he turned down the offer. She told reporters that it was the right thing to do, and she was released after several hours in jail. She was also among the numerous women who brought sexual abuse allegations against Harvey Weinstein. Hannah is married to musician Neil Young, and her advocacy participation list is quite lengthy, and we could go on and on about how amazing of a human being she is, but we'll let you look all that up on your own when you have time.
I think I'm today years old when I heard that she's married to Neil Young.
Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah.
I did not know that at all.
I kind of knew that, but then when I saw it, I was like, oh, yep, I guess she really is
Yeah.
married to him.
Interesting.
How long have they been married? Do you know?
For
Since
quite
2018.
Yeah, for a while. I think that they came together because of their
That's
advocacy.
only 8 years. I mean, that's not a while.
Yeah.
It's not like they've been married for 30 years. She doesn't
That's
have
true.
Does she doesn't have any kids, does she?
No, I don't
No,
think
I
so.
don't think she does. Yeah.
So Daryl Hannah was 22 when this movie came out. She plays Madison in this film.
Then we have Eugene Levy. He was born in 1946 up in Canada in Hamilton, Ontario. He is an actor and comedian. He's best known for appearing in the sketch comedy series SCTV and the American Pie series of films. He also collaborated with actor-director Christopher Guest and appeared in and co-wrote 4 of his films, commencing with Waiting for Guffman. He also collaborated with actor-director Christopher Guest and appeared in and co-wrote 4 of his films, commencing with Waiting for Guffman. From 2015 to 2020, he starred as Johnny Rose in Schitt's Creek, a comedy series that he co-created with his son and co-star Dan Levy. Levy is an advocate for autism awareness and treatment. He is married to Deborah Devine, and they have 2 children, Dan and Sarah, who both starred alongside their father in Schitt's Creek. Also with Christopher Guest, just of note, is Best of Show. I have to say, Best of Show is hands down one of my favorite Eugene Levy, Catherine O'Hara movies of all time. In 2025, his home was destroyed in the Palisades wildfire. Levy was 37 years old when this movie came out, and he plays Dr. Walton Kornbluth.
We also have John Candy, who was born on Halloween in 1950 in Newmarket, Ontario, and passed away March 4th, 1994. He was also a Canadian actor and comedian best known for his work in Hollywood comedy films. He was a member of the Toronto branch of the Second City and its comedy series Second City Television. He starred in roles in films such as Stripes, Splash, Brewster's Millions, Summer Rental, Armed and Dangerous, Spaceballs, Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, The Great Outdoors, Uncle Buck, Who's Harry Crumb, and Cool Runnings. He also had supporting roles in The Blues Brothers, National Lampoon's Vacation, Little Shop of Horrors, Home Alone, Nothing But Trouble, and Rookie of the Year. He died of a heart attack in 1994 at the age of 43, and his final 2 film appearances in Wagons East and Canadian Bacon, which was dedicated to his memory. He was married to Rosemary Hobor, and they had 2 children together, Jennifer and Christopher. He was 33 years old when this movie came out, and he plays Freddy in this film. So this film had a budget of $11 million, and it was released March 9th of 1984. 11 million. I'm trying to determine if that is high or low.
They would make her a mermaid.
Yeah, I would think mermaids are kind of expensive.
Yeah, that was a really realistic mermaid tale.
And there was a helicopter.
Very.
There was a helicopter.
I think that we
Yeah.
determined from Die Hard that helicopters are expensive.
Those are expensive, yes.
Girls just, yeah, I agree.
And it brought in $69.8 million.
So good job.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's impressive.
It did
Good
pretty
job.
damn good.
And
And
like on future, like we should just say what the movie is rated. I don't think we've ever spoken about what like the movie was rated G.
What was the movie that
Gremlins.
Gremlins that created PG-13?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gremlins is the reason we have PG-13.
so
So
what was this
what
movie
wa-
rated?
yeah.
I
mean, there-
imagine it was PG.
I would think. I mean, her hair covered her boobs, but
Yeah,
there
you
was
never saw any-
naked butt.
You never saw any boobage.
Like her hair was taped to her nipples, but you did
It
see
was-
bare butt.
It was rated PG.
Yeah, PG.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And we wanted to talk about where it's available to watch. I watched it on Disney Plus.
Yes.
I
think
watched
that-
it on Prime.
Okay. So Prime and Disney Plus, we know for sure it's available on.
Yeah,
It
you can
wasn't
You can get it on Apple TV, YouTube, and Google Play.
it wasn't hard to find some other movies. And this
Word.
was actually, it was released by Touchstone Films, which is a film label created by Walt Disney Studios.
Yes.
And I think it was the first movie that was actually released by Touchstone.
I thought we
Oh.
already did the first Touchstone.
Was it? Okay,
No,
hold on.
because we've talked about this before. Because this was Disney's like more mature label.
Hold on. It says it is on Wikipedia. It says it is notable for being the first film released by Touchstone
Oh, okay.
Pictures, a
Okay.
film label created by Walt Disney Studios that same year in an effort to release films targeted at adult audiences.
Yes.
Blah, blah, blah. Okay. Splash was critically and commercially successful, earning over 69 million. And yeah. So,
Oh, Adventures in Babysitting. That's the one. Yeah, that wasn't until 87. So yeah, so this was the first one. That's cool.
yeah.
And then we go on to not know anything about the next. Like, just listen to this. I know we're going off. But okay, number 2 for Touchstone, Country. Number 3, Baby, Secret of the Lost Legend. Just stop me if you've heard of any of these. My Science Project. Down and Out in Beverly Hills.
Yes, I've heard of that.
Offbeat. Tough Guys. And then Color of Money. So I'm with Color of Money. Like,
Yeah.
this had to have gone out of business, right?
Yeah. I would
Touchstone
think so.
doesn't exist. Yeah, they're a bunch of duds. 3 Men and a Baby.
Yeah.
So Splash was primarily filmed on location in New York City. You know, the scenes like Statue of Liberty, Bloomingdale, Central Park, the Bahamas, where the underwater sequences were filmed, and Los Angeles, like the Biltmore Hotel. Key New York spots included 25 Tudor City Place apartment and Columbus Circle. The production included roughly 1 month in New York, another month in LA, and 2 weeks in the Bahamas for underwater filming.
That wouldn't suck.
Yeah.
No. You guys ready to get into it?
Let's go.
All right.
I'm ready. So we start this movie with a flashback scene of when Alan Bauer and his family are on a boat tour of the New England area of Massachusetts, so like Cape Cod. Freddie, who is Alan's brother, throws some change on the ground of this boat so that he can look up ladies' skirts. And we see Alan, who's just sort of standing on the edge of the boat, watching the water below, and he decides that he's just going to jump overboard towards something that he sees in the water. And he goes under the water and he encounters a girl, and they hold hands, and Alan sort of has a moment with this girl. And Alan is then rescued by someone, and after the boat sails off away from this girl, we see that this girl is actually a mermaid because she flips into the water and we see her tail. So we flash forward now, and Alan is an adult, and he is working at his fruit and vegetable business, which is called Bauer Produce. It's located in New York City. He owns it with his brother, who is, a total ladies' man. His brother's name is Freddie, who's played by John Candy. He pulls up in his Corvette, and he's very excited that this letter that he wrote to Penthouse was published. And the letter is called A Lesbian No More, and he says it's a real beautiful story. And Freddie is very excited to see his brother, and he kisses him, and they kind of go up to Alan's office, and they walk past Alan's secretary, who's named Mrs. Stimler, and he says, hey, do I have any messages? And she's, yes. And he's, okay, do you want to give them to me? And she's, yes, your father called. He wants you to call him back. And Alan says, well, our father died 5 years ago. And she says, okay, do you want me to get him on the phone for you? And he's, no, I'll handle it. So Freddie asks Alan, what's up with her? And he says, she was hit in the head with lightning over the weekend. And so Freddie kind of tells his brother, hey, I met with the owner of Buy Right Supermarkets. We were out at this club, and now we're going to be the suppliers for all the buy right supermarkets. And in the middle of this, Alan gets a phone call from his girlfriend and he says, "Hey, I'm busy. I'm going to have to call you back." And he doesn't call her back. So she calls again and he gets on the phone with his girlfriend who tells him that, "Hey, I'm actually getting ready to move out of our apartment. You're doing that right now while we're on the phone." And so basically she ends up moving out of the apartment. Now we see a scene where we're at Jerry's wedding. Jerry also works at Bauer Produce, and Alan is an usher. He's dressed in a tuxedo, and everybody's asking him, "Where's Victoria, his girlfriend who just moved out?" And Freddie also does the same action where he throws the change on the ground, just like he did as a kid to look up the lady's skirts. And Freddie tells Alan, "Hey, I think I really want to get more involved in the business. I know about this business. I did this with our dad when we were younger. But do we just sell fruit or do we sell vegetables too? Or what exactly do we sell there?" Alan's really fixated on the fact that Victoria has left, and he's, she moved out before I even got home. I mean, she couldn't even wait for me to get home. "Do you know why she left me, Freddie? Because I didn't love her." And Freddie responds, "That bitch." And Alan's, I want to know why I didn't love her. He's really trying to understand why he's not capable of loving somebody. And he keeps repeatedly asking him, like, what's wrong with me? She's beautiful. She's smart. Everybody really likes her. She's like the whole package. I don't understand why I'm not capable of loving her. And I mean, it's actually, it's kind of funny because he's, all these people keep going, "Well, where's Victoria?" And he's, "Oh, she has the flu." "Oh, where's that beautiful, lady?" "She's not here." And the one guy, he walks up and he's like, "Hey, Alan." And "She left me, okay?" The guy's, "What the hell?" And
He
so
tweaks.
he's really mad that obviously Victoria left. So after the wedding, Alan and Freddie go to a bar. Alan is wasted and he's laying on the bar. And these two women walk in and he kind of chases after them and he's making these weird noises at them, like animal noises. It's kind of disturbing. And Alan, he's standing next to this couple at the bar, and he sort of screws up this guy's attempt to pick up this woman at the bar. And Alan's talking to himself about how bad he wants to meet a woman and get married and have a kid and go to that kid's play, and that kid will be a tooth in the play. And these people are just staring at him like, what the hell is wrong with this guy? And Freddie kind of motions like, "Hey, come over here. I've got these ladies. We're going to go to Rio with them. They've got a timeshare." And Alan's, "Nah, dude, I'm going to Cape Cod." And Freddie's, "Well, I'll drive you there." And he's, "No, I'm going to grab a cab," as one does. So Alan takes a cab to Cape Cod and he gets to a beach. And that's when we encounter Walter Kornbluth, who is Eugene Levy. And he's a scientist, and he's there on a diving expedition. Alan walks up to him and he says, "Hey, can you give me a ride out on your boat to this island?" Dr. Kornbluth thinks that Alan is a spy, that he wants to figure out what he's doing out there. And he's, "No, I can't give you a ride out there." So he ends up actually getting a ride. Well, he gets on a boat with this guy named Fat Jack, and the boat actually breaks down. So Fat Jack jumps into the ocean to go get the little boat to come back out to retrieve Alan and get him out to the island. And while Fat Jack is gone, Alan actually attempts to try and fix this boat because he's sick of waiting. And he hits the engine with a hammer, and the boat actually, he gets it started and it takes off. And Alan falls off the boat, hitting his head. but he can't swim. And he repeatedly had told Fat Jack that he can't swim. So he falls into the ocean and his wallet falls out of his pocket and it falls to the bottom of the ocean. And just then we see, as Alan is falling to the bottom of the ocean, we see a woman's arm come out and grab him. We see some blonde hair. And the next thing we know, we see Alan wake up on a beach. And there is a blonde-haired woman who is watching him from some bushes. And he sees her. And he kind of looks at her and he asks if she knows how he got there. And then he's, do you speak English? And she's just staring at him. And then she runs toward the water and she's buck naked. And he's, wow, what the hell is going on? And she walks over to Alan. She just kisses him and then jumps into the ocean and she swims away. And as he turns his back, we see a mermaid tail in the water. And she finds his wallet. She comes across Walter Kornbluth, and he attempts to take a picture of her, and he fails to actually take the picture. So she's under the water. He's down there, scuba diving. And he's, oh my God, it's a mermaid. I got to get a picture of this. And he doesn't end up actually getting a picture of her. She's swimming around. She ends up going to some sunken ship. And she sees Alan's ID in his wallet. And it says he's from New York. And she must put two and two together that, oh my gosh, I have a map of New York in this sunken ship. So she goes to this ship and she pulls out a map of New York and matches the fact that, oh, this is where New York is. He's from New York. And somehow she must be smart enough to put those two things together. Somehow she must have taken a navigation class in mermaid school. And
so if she was going to research him this deep to find out where he lives, why wouldn't you just stay on land with him then?
well,
Why did you have to go all the way back into the ocean to go find his wallet to find out where he lives when he's right there? I totally thought she would have just gone back on land and given him his wallet back.
he fell into the ocean.
Oh, she
No,
brought him to land.
No, he was already on land. And then she just bailed.
Yeah, she left. She was just, her naked butt just ran back into the ocean and just kind of left him stranded.
Maybe she had to come up with a plan.
Maybe.
How she was going to put this all together. I don't know.
Yeah. I do love her little office in the sunken ship.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
very
love
cute.
it.
It is very awesome. So now Alan, he's just back at work. He's got a big bandage on his head.
You know what it gives? It gives mermaid girl boss vibes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It does. She is a girl boss.
Yeah. Sorry. Go on.
So Alan's back at work. He's got a big bandage on his head. Mrs. Stimler, his secretary, she's, what happened to your head? Were you struck by lightning? Which is funny, because she was struck by lightning. She's got her bra on the outside of her shirt.
Yes.
He's Mrs. Stimler, and he's, you know what? Never mind. It doesn't matter.
It's not worth it.
Who cares? We don't care here at this produce place.
Mm-mm.
So we see a naked girl jump in the railing at the Statue of Liberty with Alan's wallet in her hand. And she walks towards the tour group of people who are going to tour the Statue of Liberty. And people are like, oh my God, a naked chick. We want to take pictures with her. And the cops come and they take her away. And they find Alan's wallet on her. So they call him at the produce factory. And they're like, hey, do you know this chick? And he's, no, I'm on my way. So he jumps in the car. He takes off. And he pulls up to the police station. He just double parks. Who
New
does
York
that?
man.
He runs in there and he's, hey, I'm just here for my wallet. And they're like, oh yeah, she's the one that had it. And he turns around, he's, oh my God, that's the naked chick. And so he starts putting it together, how'd the naked chick get my wallet? What the hell? And she stands up and she just walks over and kisses him.
She's very sexual.
Yeah.
She's very kissy.
Yeah.
And he's all about it.
Oh, yeah. They don't waste any time.
Yeah. And the cops, yeah, I take it you know this girl? And he's, yeah, I do know her. And the cops, what's her name? And he's, I don't know. So then they kiss some more. And then he just takes her home with him. As one
More than
does.
kiss.
And then they just keep kissing and they kiss and they kiss. And then they're kissing in the elevator all the way up to his apartment. And then they obviously had a great night of doing more than kissing. And then next morning,
But if I was a mermaid, and this was like my first time on land, and some man wanted to do that to me,
yeah,
I just feel like it wouldn't go great.
I feel like she's the one that insisted on it.
I know, but you're a mermaid. How do you even know about these things?
That's what I'm thinking. Like,
You
where are
don't
her
have
parents?
those parts.
Right.
because I don't
Like,
think that
on the logic.
mermaids, I don't think mermaids do the same thing that humans do.
But she is part
Mermaid
human.
procreate.
Like, this is confusing.
I know
It
we're
is
not supposed to question it. It's supposed to be very light and fluffy, but like
We're like, we're
Like,
I
has
just
digging.
feel like if I was shown like a man thing, and I would be like, I'm out.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
thank
Get
you.
me out of here.
So has she reached puberty? Does she have her period?
I don't think that mermaids get that. I don't think that mermaids are built like that.
I'm gonna
No.
Google mermaid
I c-
reproductive systems, and my
I can't-
algorithm is gonna be fucked forever.
I can't imagine that mermaids have like period products. You can't use those under
No,
the
they
water.
wouldn't. No.
I mean, they'd have to
So
be super absorbent.
what, the ocean is full of mermaid vagina blood?
Or you'd have to have like menstrual cups because they're silicone.
Yeah. I don't
But
know.
they
There's-
wait.
There's
Okay,
questions.
hold on. Fish lay eggs. Okay, so if mermaids are fish, then they
Yeah,
would be laying eggs and they would be fertilized.
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
so then
That's-
mermen would not necessarily have the same reproductive organs that human men would have.
I don't know. I think we need
Because
to ask a
fish-
mermaid.
Fish don't have wieners.
get to this
Although,
place.
wait a minute,
How
whales
did we get
do.
here?
Whales have wieners.
They do.
Oh shit. Okay, I don't know. Do
Yeah.
mermaids
Is a mermaid a mammal?
do mermaids have sex with whales? I don't know.
Because mermaids are mythical, their anatomy is entirely speculative, with theories ranging from fish-like spawning to mammalian live birth. Most interpretations suggest that if mermaids existed as biological organisms, they would possess likely hidden or internal reproductive organs, such as a cloaca for egg laying, similar to sharks or birds. Or
Wait, so
internal
what's the-
genitalia adapted for live births like dolphins.
Do dolphins have wieners?
They have to. I'm not Googling that.
Yeah, you don't want that in your algorithm.
All right. So I
But
guess
why
we'll
would a
never know.
mermaid be like, oh my God, I want to make out with a human man?
Oh, which is
Right.
interesting that that's immediately where they went. Like, they
'Cause she
immediately
was-
have sex.
Like, she
Yeah.
was after it.
Yeah. Like, she knew what she wanted. Maybe she had some porn down in that girl boss office.
Maybe because she had not one word spoken to this man.
Yeah, human man porn.
Weird.
So like
I don't know.
did a cargo ship full of human man porn crash in the ocean and it sunk into her lady boss chambers? And she just hoarded it and she's been watching it for years. And then she was like, okay, here's the plan. That little kid boy that I met in the ocean, I'm going to find him one day and I'm going to do this with him.
You could be onto something.
Oh, maybe.
It's weird, man.
Because
Weird.
she knows who he is, I think. He doesn't know who she is.
Right.
Correct. because
We'll
that's
go
the
with
only
your theory.
that's the only human man boy that she knows.
Right. As far as
Yeah.
we know.
As far as we know.
That's true. Oh, weird.
She might have just been collecting names of all these kids that go overboard.
Let's
Yeah.
carry on from this.
We don't know how many boys have gone overboard.
Right.
There might be other splashes. Oh, Madison.
This might not be her first rodeo.
Let's not shame the girl boss because she just wants some.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, you know what? You do you, girl.
Yeah.
Anyway, so Ellen shows up to work the next morning. He's had a great night. He's singing Zippity Doo Dah Day. He's happy as can be.
He got
mer-
laid by a
A
woman
mermaid.
that never even said one word to him.
Yeah, a fish. She's back at his apartment watching TV, and she's watching a Bloomingdale's commercial, and she decides, you know what? I'm gonna leave this apartment in Alan's suit, and I'm gonna go to Bloomingdale's. And she goes there and she buys like a ton of clothes with Alan's credit card. And Alan goes home and she's just gone. And the doorman is, yeah, she went to Bloomingdale's. So he goes there and he finds her in the electronics department, and she can just now speak, and she knows like the entire English language from watching TV in the electronics department all day.
She's a fast learner.
Yeah. And she
The
just like,
mermaids are geniuses.
they are
Horny geniuses.
horny geniuses. Yes. And she's just, hey, Alan, how was your day? And she thanks the salesman. Thanks for letting me use your televisions. It was very educational. And Alan asks her what her name is. And she says it's really hard to say in English. And he
It's so weird.
says, well, then say it in your language, which is mermaid or porpoise language. And when she screeches out her name, all the television screens just break. So, yeah, she claims that she learned how to speak English from the TVs. And she tells him that she's not from Cape Cod and she's not from America. She's asking a lot of questions about what things are. So they're just walking down the street. She's like, what's this? What's this? Like a toddler. And he decides to let her figure out like her own name. And she decides, I'm going to pick the name Madison because that was the street name. And he asks her to stay with him in his apartment, and she wants to stay with him. So,
But just a side note, when they determine the name, when she says, I want the name Madison, he's like, that's not a name. Like now
Yeah.
there are so many
Yeah.
Madisons.
So many Madisons
Yes.
because of this movie.
Right. So yeah, this is where Madison must have started.
it must be. I guess, yeah, because I mean, back then, I don't think there were people named Madison.
Right. And he was like, that's not a name. It is now.
Yeah, it's a very popular name. I think I had a Barbie named Madison.
Ooh.
I mean, I named her Madison. It was probably from this movie. So, yeah, she tells Alan, I want to stay with you because you're the reason why I came here. So Madison, is staying there, and she sneaks out of the bed in the middle of the night, and she decides to draw a bath. And we see her with like a container of Morton salt, which is the wrong kind of salt.
Table
But
salt.
Nobody in 1984 knew that.
Yeah, you don't need table salt, honey. You need sea salt. We see that Madison's legs have now turned into fish fins, and she's a mermaid. And Alan wakes up and he's like, where the hell did Madison go? He's looking for her, and he's acting all, hey, can I come in the bathroom? And she won't let him in there. So he's, oh, hey, are you okay? And she's acting kind of weird. Yeah, don't come in here. And it sounds like she almost fell. And he's, hey, I'm going to break down the door if you don't let me in there, because it sounds like things are getting kind of weird. And she's frantically in there trying to dry herself off. And she gets out a blow dryer and she's drying her fins. And like, she's trying to dry herself off so that before Alan can get in there to see her. And finally, he does bust down the door, and she's sitting on the floor. And luckily, her fins had dried by the time he gets in there, and she's back to having human legs. And he's like, "Why wouldn't you let me in the bathroom?" And she's, "Oh, I just felt shy, and that's why I didn't open the door." And he's, "Oh, now you're shy. You kissed me you just came right up and kissed me multiple times before you even spoke to me. And we've been having fish sex, and now you're shy." So, okay. So back to Kornbluth. He's diving, and he comes back up to the surface because the one dude that he's out there on this mission with he's sitting on his air hose. And the other guy is kind of just sitting around. He's reading a newspaper, and Kornbluth realizes that the story that's on the cover of this newspaper is Madison. And that's the mermaid that I saw. And he's like, "We got to go back to shore. I got to find this mermaid." So Alan gets home, and Madison is sitting there crying. She was watching some Western, I can't remember what it was, where one of the guys shoots another person. He has to explain to her that TV is just acting.
It was Bonanza.
Oh yeah, Bonanza. Okay. And it's just acting. And Alan's like, "Hey, I brought you home a present." And it's a music box, and she loves it. And she's like, "I love music." So Alan takes her that night they go out to dinner, and then they go and see a string quartet performing on the street. And Madison holds Alan's hand, and they go to a park where there's a fountain, and that fountain has a mermaid at the top of it. And she asks Alan, "Do you like this fountain?" And he's, "Yes, I do." And she asks him if he likes the sea, and he says, "Not really, because I actually had an accident when I was 8 years old." And Madison was like, "I remember." And he kind of looks at her like, "What?" And she says, "I meant I understand." And he tells her that he swore he saw something when he was underwater during that accident, and they end up kissing at that fountain. The next day, Alan and Freddie, they go and they're playing racquetball. And it's funny because Freddie brought like a whole cooler full of beer, and Alan won't admit to Freddie that he's in love with Madison. And Alan kind of questions why did she show up naked in a park? And I don't understand what's going on. How did she learn English in a single afternoon? I don't understand this. I don't understand what happened with her in the bathtub and the TV screens breaking out. And Alan, something just about this, it isn't right. There's no way possible that this could be working out for me. And then there's the funny part about that scene is when Freddie starts playing racquetball, he's smoking a cigarette, and then he ends up knocking himself out with the racquetball. So now back to Kornbluth. He has a meeting at the Natural History Museum, and his research evidence is basically that the newspaper article is proof that the mermaid exists. And the people who come out for the meeting, they're pissed off because they're like, "This isn't proof." Madison surprises Alan and says that she bought him a present, and it's the fountain with the mermaid, and it's in his bedroom. So he comes home from work, and there's all these delivery people there, and she had this giant fountain put into his bedroom. How they got it into that bedroom, I have no idea, because it's giant, and even if you took it apart in pieces, I don't think it would fit in there.
New York City, man, they work miracles.
I guess. So he asks her, "Where'd you get the money to buy that fountain?" And he realizes that she traded her necklace for it. So she actually had this necklace on when he first saw her when he was a child. So she was wearing it back when he was 8 years old. She was wearing it even as an adult, and she traded that necklace for the fountain. And he asked her, "Why would you do that?" And she says, "It's because I love you." And he says, I love this present and I love you too. So now Kornbluth, he's getting scolded by, I think it was his professor from school.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And he's adamant that there's a mermaid loose in New York City. And he says he's going to prove it to this professor and everyone else that the girl in the paper is a mermaid. And the professor's like, how are you going to prove that? Are you going to get her wet so everyone can see that she has fins? And that, like, you
Ding,
know,
ding, ding.
ding, ding, ding. So Kornbluth finds her and he chases her and Alan with buckets of water. So he just happens to have buckets of water in the backseat of his car and he runs after them, except he ends up throwing water on the wrong couple, and the guy in that couple beats up Kornbluth. Alan and Madison end up going out to dinner, and Alan tells Madison that she doesn't have to leave, that even though she's only there for a few days, that he can get her into the country. Like, he can get her a work visa, or, you know, she could just marry an American and then she could just stay.
She would have to
And
stay.
she would, yeah. And she kind of avoids that. Maybe we could just talk about this later. They're having their dinner and Madison orders a lobster at the restaurant. And this is like the famous scene from the movie, is that Madison eats this lobster shell and all. Like, she just bites right into this lobster and it's hilarious. And everyone in this whole restaurant is just staring at her like, what the hell? And Alan just looks at the people next to them and he's like, she's hungry.
I think my teeth would fall out like chiclets if I tried that.
I know.
Yeesh.
So they go ice skating afterwards. She has no problem ice skating.
No.
How a mermaid knew how to ice skate, I don't know.
Telling you, this isn't her first rodeo. She's gotten around before.
Yeah.
He's not the first victim.
It's weird that she just knows how to ice skate with zero problems. Doesn't fall at all. So they sit and they're talking, and Alan asks her to marry him. And she says no.
Yep.
Yeah. Very blatant.
She says, yeah, I can't. And he says, you know, whatever it is that you're hiding, you can tell me. Are you dying? Were you once a man? And she says, you know what? I only have 3 days left here. Can we please just make them wonderful? Alan is just like distraught, and his whole entire attitude towards her completely changes. Now he's like pissed off.
Yeah, now he feels like a piece of meat.
Yeah. And they argue, and she just sort of runs away from him, and it starts raining. And you can tell, like, she obviously needs to get away because she's got to seek shelter. And the ice skating skate rental dude, he kind of catches Alan and he's like, hey, you got to pay. So he can't run after her. And she takes off and he's out all night looking for her. And she's hiding under a bridge because she can't get wet or she'll turn into a mermaid. And in the morning, she actually goes, I think Alan's at work. It almost looks like he's outside of work. And he's just sitting like up against a pole. And she shows up and she's like, Alan? And he's like, yes. And she says, yes. Like she's going to marry him. And they hug. So they kind of discuss getting married right away. And Alan says, we can go and get the blood test today, which that kind of took me down a rabbit hole.
Like, that's a bit much.
Yeah.
Yeah, he discussed getting married. She had no discussion about
I
it.
know, but like, and I was like, today. Like, what?
Yeah.
I think the rush was that it was
She had to
so that
leave.
she had to leave,
Yeah.
and it was so that she could stay. But also, like, what? Okay, so like, when did you have to get blood tests?
Oh yeah, that was definitely a thing to prove that you were not related.
Right, but up until like when?
Apparently, at least 1984.
I think that was state.
Yes,
I
it was
think that
up
was
until
state decided.
anyway. They were gonna go and get the blood test like today. And Madison's like, before we get this blood test, I have something that I have to tell you, but not today. So they go back to Alan's apartment building, and Kornbluth, just
nine-
so what?
Sorry, by 1980, 34 states still required blood tests. So,
Huh.
but by 2019, all 50 states had phased it out. So up until 2019, there were still some states that required it.
Wow. Interesting.
You gotta make sure of these things sometimes.
Yeah.
I mean, that's true. That is
Yeah.
true. So Kornbluth just so happens to be the maintenance guy at Alan's apartment building now, and he's just mopping the floors. And he hears Alan talking as he's getting into the elevator, and he decides, I'm going to start chasing them because he's got to catch up to the mermaid. And he's just got like his camera ready, and he runs up the stairs to chase the elevator, and he's like, so as soon as the elevator opens, I'm going to turn on the fire hose so that I can soak her and get a picture of the mermaid. Okay? Except when the elevator opens, it's not them. So he soaks the wrong people, and he takes pictures of these people, and they're all pissed off. And
It's
I
the
think
same people as
it's
before.
the same people as before.
Jeez.
And then I think he gets beat up again.
Yes, he was thrown down the stairs.
Yes. So this is where I meant to watch this part again. Why are they having dinner with the president?
Right. Like, why are these produce people going
It's like the
to
produce
this?
union or something.
Right.
So I feel like I missed a part that I'm like, wait, why are we having dinner with the president?
Well, his brother told him about the dinner and that they could rub elbows. And it's like, but
Yeah.
how did
What?
you
What?
did you obviously he made the investment to attend this thing.
Yes. So they're going to dinner with the president. Is he the president of Bayreuth? No, I
No,
don't
the
know.
United
Any-
States.
Yeah, so I don't. Anyway, Madison is dressed like a child. Was that a thing in the 80s? I don't know. But Madison is wearing like a dress that you would put on a 5-year-old.
Yes.
She did not look like a grown lady.
Going to
And
a black tie event.
yeah, just didn't look right. But
Mm-mm.
and Kornbluth is now like working in the kitchen, and he's waiting there with tanks of water that he's got ready so that he can spray her with water to expose her as, being a mermaid. And he's intercepted by security because they see these like suspicious hump on his back. And as
It
they're
was
taking,
very sus.
yeah, very sus. And as they're taking him away, he sees Madison has exited with Alan because they're leaving so that they can talk about her secret. And
It's unfortunate timing.
yeah, unfortunate timing. They get outside, and Kornblue starts yelling about how, oh my God, there she is. She's a mermaid. And the only reason I have these tanks on is to get her. I'm going to prove that she's a mermaid. And they think he's crazy. And so he manages to start soaking her with water. And she falls on the ground. And Kornblue starts screaming, I was right, behold the mermaid. And Alan is in all of this chaos. He turns and he looks at her, and he realizes that she's got fins.
Yeah, he was in a complete state of shock.
And he's like, what the fuck is going on? And reporters are bombarding her. And he sort of gets pushed like back from her, and she's screaming for Alan.
It's sad.
Yeah, it is
Yeah.
sad.
I was going into this thinking it wasn't going to work and that the water had to be salt water in order for
Yeah.
her to get fins. So I was like, oh, this can't work. This can't work.
So, you just pointed out something really good.
Yeah.
Well, thanks.
Well, like, why
Salt
did she
water
have to
versus
put the,
fresh water.
the salt
Right.
water into the bath? If
Right.
just a hose is going to do it, or
Right. So
rain.
so you would think that the fresh water would not
Yeah,
make a
but what if-
difference.
But what if Kornbluth had salt water in those tanks? But like the hose water might not have worked, but he sprayed the wrong people.
Yeah, but
Right.
yeah. So plot hole.
I was rooting for that not to work, but go on.
Anyway, so she's screaming for Alan. It's pretty sad. And so he's trying to process what is happening, and his facial expression is like, I want to help her, but also I don't really understand what just happened. And all of a sudden these two men just come in and they scoop her up and they take her away, and these other guys take Alan a different way, and they throw Madison into a limo, and Alan is thrown in a different vehicle. And so now we see Alan in this water tank, and doctors are watching him, and he's naked, and he's holding his junk, and he's just yelling, I'm not a fish. And the doctors are like, yeah, I mean, he's been in there for a while, and he's not like turning into
12 hours.
Yeah. Yeah.
What?
He's not turning into a fish.
I would have
so
gone
like,
insane.
and he's just like head just barely above the water, like, guys, I'm not a fish. And they're like, yeah, I don't think he's a fish, dude. So you know what we should do is put Madison in the tank with him and see how he reacts to that. And
Like,
so
what
they,
would be the scientific purpose of that?
Yeah, it was to see their communication.
yeah, to see if maybe that would make him turn into a fish.
Some sort of fish communication.
Yeah, I don't know. And so they just dump her into the tank with him, and
And the way he acts, I feel like, is a little bit much.
yeah, she's like, hey, you said that whatever my secret was that you would understand. And he's like, yeah. And so she tries to hug him, but he just like splashes water at her, like, get away, get away. And so they take him like out of the tank, and they just like drop him off at home, and they're like, yeah, bye. We don't need you anymore. And these
In like the
reporters,
secret van.
yeah. And
Blindfolded.
yeah, they just sort of like throw him out of the van.
Yeah.
And all these reporters just happen to be there, and they're like asking him a bunch of questions. Did you know that she was a mermaid? Did you actually make love to her? Did she eat worms?
Is it true
And-
she's also dating Burt Reynolds?
Yeah. Yes. And so Freddie pulls up, and he's like, just leave him alone. And hey, is anyone here from Penthouse magazine? Then we ain't talking. Freddie takes him to work, and everyone is just like staring at him. And
Awkwardly.
Freddie goes, what's the matter? You never saw a guy who slept with a fish before? So Freddie takes him up to the office area, and he's like, how is she? And Alan's like, how is she? She's a mermaid. So Freddie's like, people fall in love every day. Freddie asks if Alan, do you realize how happy you were with her? Do you realize what you had with this girl? You will never be that happy again.
And now, mind you, it's only been, what, 4 days at this point that
Yes.
they've been hanging out?
Yes.
This wasn't a very long relationship.
But she's a mermaid,
No,
Carol.
not at all.
She
It's
is a
different.
mermaid.
It's different when you're, in love with a mermaid.
And you know nothing about the person.
Correct.
And she
So-
just stares at you and smiles.
Correct. And she has sex with you the first night that you meet her,
Right. Oh,
and doesn't
You
say
sh-
one word.
you should have married her yesterday.
Exactly. So now we're back at the laboratory that has Madison, and she's still in the tank, and she's not doing very well at all. She's turning pretty pale, and
Kind of looks like one of those decaying goldfish.
Yeah, she looks like when your goldfish is about to die and they're laying in the bottom of the tank and they're
Yeah, it's
getting all
shedding things
getting
and
all
yeah.
grody and stuff. So yeah, that's exactly what she looks like. And Corn Bluth is there, and he's talking to the doctor about, hey man, she just doesn't look good. And he's like, you're a sadistic pig that you're leaving her in there like that. And she looks like she's dying, man. And he's kind of staring at her in the tank. And I think that Corn Bluth realizes that I put her in this situation, and this is pretty sad, and I feel bad for what I've done. The next scene, we see that Corn Bluth is actually at the dentist, and Alan walks right into the appointment. And Corn Bluth is in the chair, and he's like, I want answers. I want to know where she is. I need to see her.
I want to know how he knew he was at the dentist and what dentist it was.
We don't ask questions here, Carol.
What? But I do.
Alan's a very smart guy. He owns a produce company, okay?
Word.
He knows stuff that we just don't know. And Corn Bluth is like, hey, I just this got really out of hand, and I just needed to prove to everybody that I wasn't crazy, and I didn't think about how this was going to affect Madison or how it was going to affect you, Alan. And I'm very sorry for what happened. And so, Alan's like, hey, listen, I've tried calling everybody, and I can't even get in to see her, man. So Corn Bluth is like, listen, I know where she is. I can help you out. So Alan's like, okay, we're leaving this dentist office. You're going to get me in there. So now Freddie is with them. I don't know where he was, but he ends up meeting up with them. So Freddie, Alan, and Corn Bluth, they all, they put on their scientist outfits and they go to where Madison is, and they go to the security guard, and they're pretending to be Swedish scientists that are supposed to be there to observe Madison. And the guard proceeds to tell them, oh, well, I'm part Swedish. And he tries to talk to them, and Alan and Freddie are both like, I have no idea what this
headlights.
I have no idea what this guy is saying. And then Freddie all of a sudden blurts out, like in Swedish, hey babe, I have a 12-inch penis. And the security guard was like, haha, yes.
That's
all
funny,
right.
right.
Yep. And lets him in. But why would you be saying that to a security guard? I don't know. But
he's Swedish and
they think it's funny. I don't know.
like he was just like giving him shit. Like, I'm not going to say anything. This is what I'm going to say to you in Swedish. And the guy found it funny. I'm like, that's awesome.
Great. I'm glad that you have a 12-inch penis. They go in the room where Madison is, and Alan is like, oh my God. He sees just how terrible Madison looks. And she sees him, and he runs over to her, and they start kissing. And he asks if the big secret that she's been keeping is that she's a mermaid, or is there something else? And she tells him, yep, that's it. And she says, don't feel guilty if you don't love me anymore. So all the time that they had been together, hanging out, Madison kind of knew how Alan had been feeling. And now she's questioning how Alan feels about her. And so he says, how are you going to question how I feel now? You should know how I feel. And so they try to figure out a way to get Madison out of there. Corn Bluth and Alan end up covering Madison in like all these blankets and stuff, and they carry her out past the security guard, who's kind of dumb, and they put her in Alan's car and they drive away. And they give him like this bullshit story about how, I think they said that Freddie did something stupid, and they ended up having to take him out of there, or that Madison attacked him and they had to take him out of there. And so they end up getting Madison out of there. They put her in the car, and they drive away. Dr. Ross shows up with the Swedish doctors that were supposed to be there, and they realize that Madison is gone. Freddie was left behind, and he's pretending to fish in the tank that Madison was in. And now there's a chase to find Madison. The army is chasing them. And I don't know why the army got involved.
How did the military get involved in it?
I don't know either, because when I first saw them, I was like, wait a minute. And so he's trying to get Madison to safety. A helicopter is now hovering above them, chasing them through New York City. Kornbluth, he gets out of the car with him and Madison, with Alan and Madison, and he's like, I'm the one that caused this. I'm going to stop them from chasing you. And so he gets out to try and stop the army dudes, and essentially they're just like, they roll right past him. Alan is driving like a maniac, and he ends up getting her all the way to the water, and they're standing on the edge of almost like a loading dock or something, and they say goodbye, and she's like, I was ready to just stay here with you forever. And she's like, you could actually go with me. And he's like, how would I do that? And she says, when you were 8 years old, you were safe under the water because I was there with you. And now he realizes that Madison was the mermaid that he saw, and she was real. And he's like, this is great. I could go with you, and then I can come back and see Freddie at Christmas time. And she's like, you can't ever come back. If you go with me, this is permanent. You hear all the sirens wailing, and you realize that he's got to make a real quick decision. And he stops and he thinks, and he's like, Madison. And she says, I understand. And they kiss, and the army and the Coast Guard are approaching, and they tell him he's under arrest, and he tells Madison she has to go, and she jumps in the water, and the Coast Guard immediately goes after her. And Alan is screaming, leave her alone. And we see her waving from the water, and she goes under, and Alan jumps in the water, and we see him swimming after her. But remember, he can't swim.
Right.
So Madison swims to him, and she kisses him, and the Coast Guard comes and grabs both of them, and they fight them off with no problem.
Oh, yeah.
And they swim away. And Alan throws off his lab coat, and they swim away together under the water, and they swim towards an underwater city. And
Because that's exactly what's in the Hudson River.
yeah, it is.
Yeah.
There's a mermaid city down there.
Yes. And all the sea creatures and all the life down there.
Yep.
That's exactly what's in there.
Yep. And that's the end of the movie. They swim off into
Happily ever after.
mermaid city of the Hudson River.
Yes.
What does that tell us?
Yeah.
Oh.
I feel like that leaves a lot more questions than answers.
Because I didn't get the feeling that he made a decision to go be a merfish.
No.
A merman.
I didn't get that feeling, but also so I was unclear what that ending was supposed to mean.
Yeah.
It was an interesting ending.
Because I don't think he would want to leave his brother.
Yeah, I feel
think-
like you'd have to get your affairs in order before you go live underwater.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I think you would have to make some decisions. You'd have to make sure that your brother knows that hey, you're going to be taking over the business, close down your apartment and stuff. Make sure that all that stuff is kind of taken care of. Turn off that fountain, because if that overflows, your apartment's ruined. He didn't do any of that
But in the
stuff.
same respect, he also knows that if he surfaces, he'll be arrested.
For what? I mean, how long are you going to go to jail for? I mean, listen, I work in this field. I really don't think he would be held for like, and he's got money. He's obviously got money. If he can afford that apartment in New York City, he's got money.
This is also where logical brains come into play with fantasy worlds. So,
Oh, no. This is light and fluffy rom-com.
Okay.
I think that they just went off to their little happily ever after to escape everything that was happening on land.
That sounds
Well,
good.
what if they just swim for a real long time and then they come off onto the shore like far away and then they could just like take a long trip for a while and then they come back later on and everybody forgot.
Yeah,
I
and
don't think that's how that works, though.
hmm,
But
I
it's
mean,
the movies. They can do whatever they want.
yeah, I mean, they should just swim to another country and she needs to cut her hair
Yeah, and color it.
and figure out if they're able to have children or if they'll just have like 5 million goldfish. Because he wants his children.
That dress up like teeth in a play.
Right.
Hmm.
So, yeah,
Mer baby? Would they be mer babies or would they be human babies? Can you impregnate a
both.
mermaid with human babies? Can mermaids
We already went over this.
Can we talk about this?
We were talking about puberty and parts and
But if a mermaid had a baby with a human, would it be a human baby or a mermaid baby? I think we're all old enough to know where mermaid babies come from.
but we're not. Because we don't know.
So this is what shocked me the most is that this got a 91% on the tomato meter
I know.
Yes.
and a 68 on the popcorn meter. Like,
Yeah, people liked it.
that's why I was like, I saw how much money it made, and then I saw this, I was like, wow.
People liked this movie.
I'm surprised the popcorn meter isn't a little bit higher. But it's also based on way more ratings.
A lot more ratings.
Mm-hmm. And Roger Ebert of the
Your
wonderful
buddy.
Chicago Sun-Times, he gave it a rotten score of 1.5 out of 4, saying it's
That's
too
trash.
bad the relentlessly conventional minds that made this movie couldn't have made the leap from sitcom to comedy. Whatever, Roger. Go suck one. And Rita Kempley from the Washington Post said Splash, an aquacade of myth and laughter, glimmers like moonlight tide. Wow, that should be a song. It's an encapturing underwater romance pairing drylander Tom Hanks and mermaid Daryl Hannah. No shit, Rita. And Ian Freer of Empire Magazine gave it a fresh score of 4 out of 5 and said the movie that really showed Tom Hanks's promise as a deliverer of great comedy and heartwarming pathos.
Yeah,
Oh,
I think that's what. This didn't really have any cringe for me.
no.
Do I need to watch it? Am I going to watch it again on a Saturday? Probably not.
Did it age well?
Did it age well? Well, it doesn't rate on the cringe, so I feel like but fine, it aged well. It aged fine. It's not a serious movie. It's not a biopic. It's light, it's fluffy, it's well acted. I think it aged well.
I'm going to agree with the not really cringe. There was no cringiness in there for me. I also would not watch it on a Saturday. in no way, shape, or form in the last 40 years have I been yearning to rewatch this.
Yeah, no.
So
But that's not
I'm
the fault of
good.
the movie, like I feel.
Oh, I feel like I watched it too young and had a core memory just of that bathtub scene.
Yeah.
And I didn't remember anything else about the movie. And I was actually very pleasantly surprised by the acting and the cast. Like, I obviously knew Tom Hanks was in it. Did not realize Eugene Levy or
John
John
Candy.
Candy were in it. So I was very pleasant. I was actually then excited to rewatch it.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I think besides the weird script, I mean, I don't know what. Well, it is a Ron Howard film,
Ron
but
Howard, it's
yeah,
got Tom Hanks, it's got John Candy, it's got Eugene Levy, it's got Daryl
right.
Hannah. Like it
It's just a very interesting plot. That it was very. It's a very unexpected plot, but yeah, no cringe. Wouldn't I don't plan on ever rewatching it, but kind of want to see a sequel now. Find out what happened to them.
yeah.
Yeah.
What say you, Neeners?
I'm going to also give it a not really, but I would like to say that if there were a cringy part to it, it would be fish sex. Because now that we've analyzed it, the fact that Tom Hanks just jumps in the sack with her and then like realizing that she is a mermaid and then not questioning the fact that, oh shit, I slept with a mermaid. That's kind of cringy, a little bit. If it comes on, like, I mean, again, like we don't watch TV the same way that we did. You're not flipping through cable channels.
Right.
Like if I saw it on like Sling TV, I would be like, I don't really need to rewatch it. It's not Tom Hanks' best movie.
No.
No.
No. No.
So it's like, if I had a choice of Tom Hanks movies, it's not the movie I would watch.
No. It would be Forrest Gump.
Duh. And every time Forrest Gump is on, I'm always gonna turn it on. So yeah, I feel like now that I've rewatched it, I have so many questions now about how he would end up being with her.
You're really fixated on this.
I am
Yeah.
too. I want a sequel. I want to see the Little Mermaid babies.
Why don't you write a little fan fiction?
But like does
Publish
he
it up to Medium or something.
does he become like King Triton? Like
Now
does
that's a
Tom
stretch. You're
like
going.
does Tom Hanks become like King Triton? And does he like
I
like
don't
he
see
be
how he could ascend to a.
No, I mean, no, like King Triton. Does he become like a merman and like he lives under the sea now and like he,
Maybe he
you know,
runs a produce company under the sea.
do they
It's
eat
funny you say that
produce?
because when I was watching this, I was thinking this is a mixture of The Little Mermaid and Pretty Woman.
It is The Little Mermaid. So people online compare the movie.
Yeah. But then there's also like a Pretty Woman factor to it, I feel a little too.
Interesting.
But yeah,
Wow.
it's definitely Little Mermaid.
Yeah, it is. Live action Little Mermaid.
Yes. Well, that's it. So the question is, did this movie make you fantasize about becoming a mermaid and swimming off to live a new life under the sea? We certainly thought about it.
Now, before we go, we just want to say thank you. With so many podcasts out there, the fact that you choose to spend your time with us truly means everything. This show exists because of you, our listeners, and we are super grateful for your support. Whether you've been here with us since the very beginning or this is your first episode, from the bottom of our hearts, thank you for listening.
Thanks for joining us at the Shermer High Alumni Association. If you had as much fun as we did, hit follow, leave a review, and share this episode with your fellow 80s movie lovers. Until next time, be kind and don't forget to rewind. Bye.
Bye-bye.